corporate America. Let's talk about it.
I've noticed that more and more people are getting really fed up with corporate America. As a recruiter, I have hundreds of conversations a month with candidates, and I'm starting to see that more and more people are starting to lose interest in corporate America. They're starting to lose interest with the fear of getting laid off every single month, getting promised promotions that never happen, getting underpaid and literally living paycheck to paycheck, even if they're making six figures. And I'm talking to more and more candidates that are either thinking of starting their own business or at least starting a side hustle so they can make some more income and potentially leave their job at some point. And I don't blame them. With inflation getting more and more, interest rates getting higher and higher, house prices going up, and the cost of living skyrocketing, it can really feel like working for someone just isn't worth it, especially when you're working for a company that's forcing you to work more and more hours with less support, and they're not paying you anywhere near the amount that you deserve. I think more and more people are getting disenfranchised by corporate America, and more people are going to start to open up their own businesses. Let me know what you think in the comments.
So, as a millennial who had a corporate job for about 5 years, it wasn't my favorite thing, I'll say that. But I'm always a proponent of, income, right? I don't care how you get your money. If you're working 9 to 5 and you're okay with it, like, there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like there's this realm on social media. It's like, if you have a 9 to 5 and you're working for somebody else, you're looked down upon. I don't understand that at all. I never did. Now, I understand the excitement and the sexiness that people see from the outside of owning your own business, but as a guy who's also owned his own business, there's a lot of freaking stress that goes into it. It is like, it's up to you to make the income. And if you're going through a dry spell while you're not getting income, like, it sucks. So, like, it's not always like grass is always going to be greener on the other side. So I want people first to understand that. Now, if you have a dream of working for yourself or starting your own business, by all means, please go after that. But if you are the individual that's just like, oh, everyone says that I need to be working for myself and own my own business, I got to be an entrepreneur because it's sexy right now, but you're decently happy or you're okay with the job you have, you don't have to leave that job. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. Now, I will say there's a lot of old corporate ways that us generation, or millennials and Gen Zers, that we look at from the outside in, and you're just like, what the hell is that? Like, the pointless meetings, if you're 2 minutes late to the office, like, you're getting yelled at by your boss or whatever, like, that stuff is bullshit, I think. Like, if stuff was just a little bit more lax, but at least you still got your job done. Like, see, the stuff I hate is, like, the companies are like, you need to be at the office until 5 o'clock, but if you have all your stuff done, why the hell do I need to be here? Like, if I work faster than Joe Schmo next to me, and I can get all my stuff done in 3-4 hours, why do I have to sit on my computer and watch YouTube or, click Excel buttons whenever the boss is walking by their desk? Like, that part I hate about corporate America. I do. Other things pop up to that nature, but there is, I feel like, this sense of people are needing a new way to work, right? They're looking for something different. Because I remember whenever I first started my real world job, so I got a degree as a civil engineer. I landed a job at a consulting firm right out of college, thought I had it made, was going to live the rest of my life at this corporate America job. I thought that was it. Like, I thought my life was set for the next 40 years. And then literally the first week I got into that job, I realized, I was like, what the hell did I just do? I was miserable, guys, and it was true corporate America. True corporate America. I mean, you gotta be dressed up, be looking spiffy every single day, and there was the hours ordeal and the pointless meetings, and just like, I remember looking forward to taking a dump at work. How sad is that? That sucked. And that was me, guys. I was there. That's the part of corporate America that I think a lot of people in this younger generation are getting tired of.
TikTok, I do not want to work in corporate America anymore. Like, I just want to go get a little retail job that I don't care about and just have enough money to pay the bills and do what I want. Like, I don't need to climb the ladder like working in corporate is not it. I've worked for 4 different major banks in different departments, and I just don't like it. Like, when I worked at Capital One, I liked the people, but I didn't like the work. Like, people think we're always taught, go to college, you get a job in your field, get a good corporate job with benefits, good pay, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But the stress, like waking up and dreading going to work, but you feel like you have to because it's a good job, it's a good pay. Like, I just don't want to deal with it anymore. I had less stress working front desk at the Courtyard Marriott, okay? Getting cussed out by people. It was less stress. Like, working in corporate America is just a bunch of people who think that their dookie don't stink, and it's just like high school, and they want you to care so much about the job. Like, I just don't want to work in corporate America anymore. And it's just like, it's like, I feel like you're looked down upon. Like, if I were to leave this type of job and like go work, a job that's not, this, advanced, it would be like, people would look at me like, you have a college degree and that's what you're gonna do with it? That's beneath you. Like, I don't know. But I don't know, but I do know that this ain't gonna work. And I'm tired of going to work and not liking it.
Oh gosh, dang it. Like, I remember that, guys. Like, this video right here speaks to my soul, because this is so much that has to do with my story of like kind of where I was versus where I am now. And I feel it. Like, I still remember it plain as day. Like, it feels like yesterday. And there's so much truth in that. Like, I remember being stressed to the max, having to hit deadlines. My biggest thing for me is I remember looking at management, right? I was looking at guys who were 20, 30 years ahead of me where I was, and I'm like, okay, this is probably where I'm going to end up if I stick in this sort of field. And that was not it. Like, I would look at those guys and I'm like, is that really what I want for my life in 30 years? I was like, hell no. Because even those guys, like, I remember talking to those guys and they were just like, oh, you got to keep your job. Here, making good money, but I hate what I do. But it's just like, oh my gosh. So, like, what she says, she has a great point. Like, I think if you can find something, first let me go back to the financial part of things. Like, I worked that job for 3 years at that one company, and I tried to stack a lot of money away because I was making good money. See, that's that corporate world. That's where they get those golden handcuffs on you. See, that's the problem there. Like, these people get these corporate jobs, and they're making great money, and then they go buy a nice house. They go buy fancy cars and get car payments. They rack up some credit card debt. They're buying all this nice fancy stuff. Lifestyles increase. And then when they think about, oh my God, I hate what I'm doing. I don't want to stick around this job. I don't want to stay here. But they have those golden handcuffs on, right? Like, they have this lifestyle they've created for themselves that where if they would leave to take a less stressful job, or maybe they want to take a job doing something they would enjoy. Like, maybe they want to go work at a bakery, right? Or they want to be a barista. They want to work at a coffee shop or something like that. But they would take a major, major pay cut. And with the lifestyle they created for themselves and how they set up their finances over the years, they're stuck at that job. They have to stay there. So all this is wrapped around is how you manage your finances, right? Because when you manage your finances correctly and you set yourself up financially, that gives you freedom. That gives you freedom to leave the corporate life if you don't want to go do that, to go test out the waters in some other industry. I remember sitting at my corporate job thinking like, oh my God, I cannot leave this. I'm getting paid great money. I remember this conversation I've had with myself a couple times sitting in my cubicle. And I remember thinking to myself, just settle, JJ. Just settle. Like, you got a good job. It's paying you well. Yes, you hate it. Yes, you can't enjoy your weekends because you're already thinking about going back to work on Monday. Just settle. Just deal with it. And I'm so glad, guys, I'm so glad I did not listen to myself. And I think I'm where I'm at now because of me getting that job. Because if I never would have knew that, I probably wouldn't have lived my life how I would have up front from the very beginning. So I almost feel blessed that happened to me. But what I want to say to you guys is like, if you don't get attached to that lifestyle, you don't get those golden handcuffs attached to you, you have the freedom to go make different choices in life. To go out, try something different. You want a sales job, get a sales job. You want to go start a bakery, start a bakery. You want to go, do whatever the hell your heart desires, go try it. Because you're not strapped because you've racked up thousands of dollars in debt And you have to have that income from your corporate job to be able to fund your lifestyle. When you don't do that and you stack cash away and you invest every single month, that gives you the freedom to go do those things. It's just up to you to make the decision to do that.
Oh my God, this job sucks. That's it. I'm quitting. I'm quitting right now.
That was almost me. I said that every day, but I was also like, just settle. Just settle, JJ. You'll be all right. You got money to take care of your family. Just do it. Just climb the corporate ladder. I'm glad I didn't listen to that. Now, again, guys, I want to make this clear. I'm not hating on corporate world, right? I'm hating on the fact of you sticking with something that you absolutely hate. That's the big piece here. Like, maybe you do, like, maybe I would have gotten a corporate job at a job that I enjoyed the work and I enjoyed the people I worked with. Like, that's winning right there. Like, if you're at a corporate job, first off, let's be honest. Not every job is sexy. Not every job is, I'm having such a blast. Like, every single thing you go to do, you're going to have a time where you hate it. YouTube, for example. I know a lot of people I talk to in my everyday life, and a lot of people that have messaged me throughout the years that says, oh, I would love to be a YouTuber, blah, blah, blah. YouTube is not all sunshine and rainbows, let me be honest with you. Right? I mean, there's days I don't want to film. The ups and downs of the views and the algorithm changes and relying on that income if you're a full-time YouTuber. I've been there. Like, it's just, there's a lot of stresses that come with it as well. So, like, everything's not all sunshine and owning a business, right? When I owned a software company, like, you were stressed if numbers were going down month over month over month, or if numbers were on the rise and then you had one bad month. Like, it's just like there's always something to stress about. There's always something bad in anything you go do. So once you understand that, it's like, yes, if you can get locked in somewhere like, hey, I'm okay here, like, I'm happy, I'm doing all right. Now, if you hate the job, I'm a full believer in, like, get out of it. Like, right, if you are miserable, stressed every single day, don't enjoy it at all, hate the people you work with, get out of it. Go. But the problem there is if you're strapped, if you're stuck there, that's the real problem. Now, if you're stuck, you can get out. It's going to take some major sacrifice on your part, and you can do it, but that's where people get hurt, right? When they get stuck into a job because of the financial choices they made in life.
The reason I quit my corporate job, honestly, was because I woke up one day and I was like, yo, why am I suffering every single day for some stupid ass company that doesn't give a shit about me? And my definition of suffering in my job is like waking up every day feeling dread to go to work, to commute over an hour to the office when it's really not necessary, to be in the room and in meetings back to back from the moment I wake up with people that I just genuinely don't like and that really piss me off because they're annoying and they suck at their job. The corporate voice and the corporate bureaucracy is so real, and it gets even realer when you advance in your career. And I take it as being fake. Like, I just have to be fake all the time because I can't show up and tell people like, hey, you're wrong, or like, let's try this other way because I know that it'll be better based on my experience. When you suggest something that's an improvement, it goes through like 3 to 10 conversations with people to try to convince people that it's the right way to do things. And it was just starting to kill my soul. And to me, suffering is really about not being able to be my authentic self every single day. I lost myself. I just went down the rabbit hole of trying to play the game in corporations, and all for what? For money, for health insurance. Like, there are other ways to get health insurance.
Oh, yo, that was me, guys. That was my biggest problem when I started this corporate world, right? As a young 20-year-old, like, I think I was 23 when I got my job at corporate America. And, like, it was kind of intimidating, right? Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I didn't have any experience in the real world like I do now. I didn't understand how everything operated in the real world. Like, it's intimidating when you walk into this massive building, thousands of employees. You kind of just, like, fall in line and do what you're supposed to do. And, yes, there is a sense of, like, I remember, like, having to put on my corporate face, right? Like, Mr. Professional, how you spoke in meetings, all this bullshit. It was all bullshit. And, like, that's not me. That's not who I am. I'm not the fake guy. I'm not going to pretend to be corporate JJ. Like, that's just not who I was. That's why I knew I had to get out. And that's what I love so much about my mortgage broker job and, like, what I do there is because I feel a sense of purpose, right? Like, I'm helping people do one of the biggest things they're ever going to do in their life, and that's purchase a home. I love it. I love, like, that's the whole reason I started YouTube, was to help people become better with money. To help people become better with managing their money. I get to do that. I get to have those same conversations one-on-one as a mortgage broker. Whenever there's somebody who maybe applied with me to get pre-approved and they're not quite there, maybe their finances are a little bit out of order. And one of my favorite things to do in my job is to set a game plan for those buyers. It's like, listen, guys, if you listen to what I tell you to do, you follow these steps, you do your homework, in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, maybe 18 months, depending how bad the situation is, you can be home buyers. But you have to follow these steps. That's my favorite part, because a lot of these people, I'm finding out, simply have just never been taught, right? They've never been taught how to manage their money correctly. And like, when I say certain things that like I would think is pretty self-explanatory, like most people would know, it's shocking to me how people are like, wow, I've never thought of it that way before. It's crazy. But to get back to what I was saying is, yes, the corporate face, putting on your corporate mask, that was not for me, guys. Like, I like being true to myself. I like being who I am. And if I can't do that where I'm working, it's not for me.
Anyway, it's Friday night. I just went out. I had a salad and a pizza and a glass of wine with my wife, and it was nice. I mean, it was nice. And it was nice. It was a 2-day work week, even though Thursday felt like Monday, which was miserable. But today was Friday, and I went out, and now I'm home, and I'm getting ready for bed already, because I go to bed early. And I'm thinking, well, the weekend's over. I mean, because tomorrow's already Saturday, which means the next day is Sunday, and then it's Monday. So I'm already got the agita thinking about Monday morning, and it's only Friday night. And this is what everybody has to look forward to. Miserable weeks followed by weekends that are miserable because you're thinking about the week that's going to come. God bless everybody. Happy Friday.
If a video ever spoke to my soul, it's that one. I remember clear as day. This was, this was over 10 years ago now. I mean, it'd be Saturday night. I remember laying in bed with my wife and just telling her, like, babe, I am already stressed about Monday. I hated my job so much, guys, that I couldn't even enjoy my weekends. Like, it was spoiling my weekends out doing things because I was already thinking about what was coming up and the stuff I had to deal with on Monday. So my weekends every weekend was ruined. So then you're like, okay, well, I can't enjoy my weekends. I can't enjoy my evenings because I'm so stressed about the next day or, the following Monday. And I was finally just sick and tired of it, to where that was also the kind of determining factor of like getting into this finance stuff. And that's why I say to myself, I'm so glad that I kind of went through that, because I think that was like the stepping stone to get me where I am today, and why I do have such a huge passion for handling your finances correctly, because I understand the freedom that it brings you to get to do what you really want to do in life. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to say, let's go bribe private jets and drive Lambos because you're going to, make millions of dollars. No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I'm being realistic here. Like, if you live, your typical, like, middle-class life, you can be successful. Now, it's a little harder nowadays with how rapid inflation has risen over the past few years, but it can still be done. It just may take a little bit longer right now. But that's what I love so much about managing your finances correctly, is that it gives you your freedom back. If you're at a job you hate, but you have no debt, you manage your money correctly, you have a very nice little safety net and an emergency fund where you could honestly take 6 to 12 months off of life if you wanted to. That's like the ultimate goal should be for everybody, because that brings you power, that brings you freedom, and it gives you flexibility to really try out different things until you find your craft, until you find what really brings you joy. That's when you've won, right? That's when you've figured it out.
I really don't think I want to rejoin the corporate world. Like, I really think I want to double down and focus on other avenues. There are so many other ways to make money, like working at a flower shop, working at a coffee shop, working at a grocery store, working at Starbucks because they have great benefits and insurance. I just don't know if the corporate world is for me. Maybe it is. Maybe I'll be back, and I'll also, at the end of the day, bills will eventually be due. But I just don't think the corporate world is for me, and I think I'm going to find other ways to make money. Hopefully.
That's where I was kind of blocked off for a little bit. I was like, I thought the corporate world was it, right? I didn't think about all the different ways there are to make money in life. Like, I was just like, the corporate world, and that's it. This is what I'm stuck with. I never thought about again, like this is my first year into it. I never thought about like taking a sales role or, doing all this other stuff until I really started doing my research and like, oh, I can go do this. Like I can go try something else out. I don't have to stick with this just because I'm at this job. Like I can do whatever the hell I want. And when you figure that out in life, like when you figure that out, you can truly go do whatever the hell you want. Guys, you could sell everything and move to freaking, I don't know, Iceland. I don't know. Be a Icelandic ski instructor. I'm making shit up now, but you get the point I'm making. Like it is your life. And I kept telling myself when I go to that corporate job every day, I'm like, I'll be damned if I sit here and just watch everyone else live their dreams, or if I just kind of give up on my dreams and not pursue something that I truly have passion in life. Like I wasn't going to do it. I refused to live that life. And I'm glad I finally took the initiative to make it happen, to be able to get out of that situation. And I feel like anyone can do it.
I absolutely fucking hate corporate culture with a passion. And here are a few reasons why. Number one, I've come to realize with age, even though I haven't actually been in the corporate world as an employee myself, but I deal with them. So, number one, in a lot of times, it's not based on ability and merit, but based on connections and who you know. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. That's one. Number two, it's soulless. There's no room for kindness, morality. There's no room for any of that crap in corporate culture. Number three, the egos. Oh my God. The egos in corporate culture, that shit drives you mad. Speaking of egos, if you want examples of it, just navigate to LinkedIn and look at some of these bullshit posts that people in the corporate world, they post over there. And number four, it kind of falls into the other points. There is no authenticity in the corporate world. You have to pretend to be something that you're not. You have to hide who you really are. And I think in the long run, that shit really destroys your soul. It really does. So, there's the end of the rant. See you later.
So, let me know what you guys think about corporate America. I mean, I've lived it for a few years. I've done it. It wasn't for me. I'm not saying that it's not for everybody, because there are. I'm sure there are jobs out there that are in corporate world that are great. Because like I said, everything you go and do has some sort of pros and cons. The grass is not always greener on the other side. I think what could fix corporate America is a lot of the old ways, a lot of the boomer and Gen X thought process of how life is now we're seeing a lot like these newer tech companies, right? Some of these startups we've been seeing, how they kind of manage their culture. That's what I think needs a little boost to the corporate world, right? I think that's what a lot of the millennials and Gen Z generations looking for, is that newer culture in the corporate world. I'll be, like I said, guys, I'm always the one to sit here and say your income and how you produce your income is what you need to survive. But I'm also a big proponent on saying, hey, what you do at least have some sort of passion in it. Because if you're doing something that you generally just don't give a shit about, like that's kind of hard. It is. It's hard to enjoy what you do for work if you truly just genuinely don't care. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Like, are you in corporate America? Because I'll be honest with you, my time in it where I worked, it sucked.